Welcome back to Bullet Basics. Today we are really excited to talk to you about the video. It's a little bit different than we've done in the past, but I think it's going to be a great one. I think it'll be very well received because a lot of people just getting into guns are really looking for, where do I start? What do I do? I know I was when I first started. I didn't know exactly how to approach it, and so this video is geared toward those people. But before we get into it, we have a marketing message from our marketing guy, Norm. We're going to send it over to him. I don't know what he has prepared, but it should be good. I was looking over some of my textbooks from college to come up with a plan, kind of a marketing plan for you, like you asked me. And well, wait, you went to school for this? Well, yes, of course. It was on my resume. I majored in marketing. We are getting there, Norm. Good job. I hope there's a little more on the next one. Okay, so now let's talk about the most popular handgun brands and manufacturers. Obviously, there are some other manufacturers that are very popular in other types of guns, like AR-15s and rifles and bolt action things and shotguns, right? And so we're not going to talk about those today. We're going to talk mostly about handguns. What are the biggest, most popular brands that there are? First, let's talk about the first one, and that is far and away, I would say, the most popular handgun brand is Glock. Now, some of you are going to hate that. Some of you are going to love that. I personally am not a huge Glock fan, but I do acknowledge that they are phenomenal. They have been around forever, right? They as far as polymer pistols are concerned, semi-autos and things like that, Glock was really the gold standard for a long time. I think a lot of companies have made some strides to be equal or better than Glock in some ways, but Glock's been around. They kind of really made the polymer pistol popular. And so I would say they are the #1 gun brand in handguns, at least semi-automatic handguns. Specifically, I would say 9mm would be obviously where they focus their energy. Honestly, most of the manufacturers that I'm going to talk about are just 9mm. Obviously, there's many other calibers, but it's kind of been the gold standard, at least here in the last decade. So with Glock, it's been around forever. They made it popular. I would say kind of some of the most popular guns that Glock has, as far as full-size guns. By the way, we've done videos on full-size guns, subcompact guns, and compact guns, and so you can go check those out if you have questions on what those are. But as far as this video is concerned, the Glock 17 is one of the most popular handguns in the world. It's a full-size, holds, I don't know, 17 rounds. Plus one in the chamber. The Glock 19 is a good compact gun, and the Glock 43 or the 43X are the subcompact kind of carry guns focused at that market. Let's go into the second one. The second one would be Smith & Wesson. Now, I'm not putting these in order, by the way. I put Glock first because Glock's kind of the most popular, but I'm not putting these in any type of order specifically because there's no way really to know. Most of these companies are private, and so we can judge it based on what we see in the industry and who has what types of guns. But anyway, so these will just be in random order. But another company, which I'll label #2, is Smith & Wesson. Obviously, they are big in the revolver world. They've got all kinds of revolvers of all kinds of sizes, but they also have semi-automatic pistols. Their M&P line has just blown up in the last few years. That's actually the first handgun I ever owned, Smith & Wesson M&P 9. And man, I love that gun. Trigger's not as great as some of the others, but it's a great gun. So the M&P 9 would be the gun to look for there as far as full size is concerned. They also came out with the 2.0 compact. I can't remember what it's called. It's the competitor to Glock 19, and it's a phenomenal gun as well. And then kind of the subcompact version of that one is the Shield, the M&P Shield. And I've had one of those for years and years and years, shot thousands of rounds through it and just love it. Okay, let's move on to SIG. SIG is the next one. And SIG has had huge popularity in the semi-automatic pistol world. They have lots of metal guns, hammer fired. But as far as if we're sticking with the striker fired gun theme in this video, they came out with just recently actually the SIG P365. And that kind of was revolutionary in how many rounds it could hold. I actually have one here. And I have the magazine right here. And so the magazine holds 12 rounds, and it's virtually the same size gun as the Glock 43, the M&P Shield. It's virtually the same size as those, but holds several rounds more. And so that shook up the industry. It did have issues at the beginning, but those issues have since been resolved. And we're in the process of reviewing this gun ourselves anyway. So we'll leave it there. SIG is great. That would be a great option. That would be the semi, the subcompact. I don't even know why I keep saying semi. The subcompact version. Other guns, the P320 and the P320 compact, are both great guns. The P320 is the big one, full-size gun, and then the compact version. A variation of that was just became the Army's official sidearm, and so it's gained huge popularity as well. Springfield has been an interesting one. They have some awesome lines, man. There's something about their guns that is really beautiful. Just you look at them and they just look really nice. Specifically, they have the XDM line, which is the full-size guns, and then they have the XDS, which is their smaller versions that have some cool things about them as well. But they just recently, and this is being filmed in May, just recently came out with an awesome gun that I love, the Springfield Hellcat. And it was a competitor to the SIG P365. It has one extra round. Actually, so I should have mentioned, and I didn't earlier, this is a 12-round magazine, and that's because it's an extended magazine. The original one has 10. I should mention that. The original, kind of the flat base plate without the extended mag, has 10 rounds, whereas the Hellcat has 11 with the flat. And so it has one extra round. I think it was the way of Springfield telling SIG that they're not ahead of everyone, that they are right there. So it's a great gun. All of these guns, Springfield, I really enjoy Springfield a lot. I think their guns are great. People have some problems with Springfield. They've had some run-ins in the past with just anti-gun type stuff, I guess. I've looked into it a little bit, but I just try to ignore that stuff for the most part. Okay, let's move on to Beretta. I actually don't even own a Beretta. Beretta for a long time, the 92 FS or whatever the military variant of that is, was the sidearm of the Army for a long time until SIG overtook with the P320 variant. And so that's a great gun, obviously, but Beretta's had some polymer striker fired type guns come out in the last few years. It's been quite a few years now. The Beretta APX and whatever their smaller version of that one, I can never remember what their compact and subcompact versions of that one are, but those are great options as well. They're not quite as popular as some of the others, but they're good guns. I think they look nice. I think they function very well. Okay, let's move on to Colt. Colt is mainly just 1911s, I would say, and revolvers. Clearly, they were one of the first companies that really made strides and did some phenomenal things in revolvers and in guns in general. And so that's not to be overlooked. But if you're looking for a concealed carry gun, you may want to look at Colt. But they don't really have any of the semi-auto striker-fired polymer guns that are very light and usable. But don't overlook them if that's something you want to look for as far as revolvers are concerned. Taurus. Taurus is another great manufacturer. That's one that tends to get a bad rap. Guns are cheaper for Taurus. I mean, as far as they're less expensive, and their build quality is probably less. But there are a lot of reviews out there for the Millennium. It's the PT-111, and I actually own one of those. And it's a great gun. Honestly, I have not had any issues with it. It's functioned properly. It's been great. But yes, it's less expensive. So people just tend to turn their noses up at Taurus and all of theirs. But they have both revolvers and they have good semi-automatic pistols. Okay, another one that we didn't want to overlook is H&K, Heckler and Koch, or Coke, or however you say it. Right? They have the VP9 and the VP9 Compact and whatever all their variants are there. But they're a phenomenal gun. Man, their triggers are great. The guns just feel so good in your hand. They are great guns, and they shouldn't be overlooked. They're one that we really enjoy. Another one we don't want to overlook is Walther. Walther is a less known brand for at least new people into guns. Walther has a PPQ is what they call it, which is, I guess, their compact version. It's kind of right in the middle between a full-size handgun and a compact. But phenomenal trigger, great gun. I love shooting the Walther PPQ. They also have a PPS, which is their subcompact version, like the SIG and the Hellcat. It's only holds 7+1, so it's just like some of the other ones, like the Glock 43 and the Glock 43 holds 6+1, but like the M&P Shield. And so, but it's a great line of guns. It's been extremely successful. It helps new shooters be very accurate because the triggers are so good. they're probably the best in the industry. And so if you're looking for that kind of thing, PPS, PPQ, those are the types of guns to look at. Okay, you guys, before we go, I completely forgot. I had it on my list, but somehow I skipped it as I was going through all the manufacturers. Canik. Canik is a major player in the pistol line these days, at least in 9mm. And that's because they make really high quality pistols, really for a fraction of the price of most of the other manufacturers. So if you're looking for a high quality pistol in any size, this is the Canik TP9 SF. They have also the SF Elite, which is the compact version, and the SF Elite Subcompact, which is the actual subcompact, smaller version. Man, I was skeptical at first, I really was, but then I bought one and then bought another and bought another. Now I own 3 of them, and I just absolutely love these pistols. They are high quality. I don't have any malfunctions. They function like I want them to function, and they're, like I said, they're a fraction of the price. And so, geez, if you're looking for a high quality pistol, but you're on a budget, these are a great purchase. Even if you're not on a budget, these are a great purchase. So definitely take a look at them. If it's something that interests you, man, these would be one of the first ones I would personally look at. Other than that, there's obviously others, Ruger and Remington and other types of guns and manufacturers that are phenomenal that you should look into. But those are kind of the main ones, or at least the ones we wanted to talk about. If you think there's another one that you'd prefer, leave it down in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, like, subscribe, comment. We really do hope that we've earned your subscriptions today. If not, let us know what we can do better. Other than that, hey guys, make sure to engage with gun channels. All the gun channels out there. Show YouTube that we are a community that loves to be on YouTube, and that we deserve to be on YouTube, quite frankly, and that they shouldn't restrict us or send us off, because it's very lucrative to them, which is the whole reason that they're in business, right? To make money. And that kicking us off isn't acceptable. And the way to do that is to watch videos all the way through. Show YouTube that people are consuming the content. Like, subscribe, comment, engage, generally speaking. Other than that, I love you, and I'll see you next time. I'm just trying out new taglines at the end of my videos. That one's not taken, is it?